Okay, chapter 2 of Jonah. Jonah is now in a fish. He's in there for 3 days and 3 nights. And what does he do? He prays, because what else can you do while you're in a fish? You cannot call up a friend. And so his only solution or only hope was Jesus. And so he prays to the Lord. And I think sometimes the Lord does that to us. He brings us to places where our only hope and the only thing that we can call, only thing we can reach out to is the Lord. And that's what happened to Jonah. Jonah makes a prayer to the Lord from verse 1, 2. He said, "In my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead I called for help, and you listened to my cry. You hurled me into the depths, into the very heart of the seas, and the currents swirled around me. All your waves and breakers swept over me, and I said, I have been banished from your sight. Yet I will look again toward your holy temple. The engulfing waters threatened me. The deep surrounded me, seaweed wrapped around my head. To the roots of the mountains I sank down. The earth beneath barred me in forever, but you, Lord, brought my life up from the pit. When my life was ebbing away, I remembered you, Lord, and my prayer rose to you, to your holy temple. Those who cling to worthless idols turn away from God's love for them. But I, with shouts of grateful praise, will sacrifice to you what I have vowed. I will make good. I will say salvation comes from the Lord." After this prayer, the Lord then commands the fish, and it vomits Jonah onto dry land. Jonah has been in there 3 days and 3 nights. It wasn't one day. Chapter 3, the Lord commands Jonah to go to Nineveh, and he actually obeys this time. And he goes to Nineveh, and it takes a while to get there. And this is what he says, a very short sermon. 40 more days in Nineveh, where Nineveh will be overthrown. That's it. That's all Jonah says. That's it. But the Ninevites acted really quick. They believed God. A fast was proclaimed. Everyone was made to put on sackcloth, from all the way from the king to even the animals, I believe. That was the command of the king. That was the decree that the king issued. Yes, even the animals will be covered with sackcloth. And everyone cried out to the Lord. And the Lord relents, and with compassion, he turns from his fierce anger so that they would not perish. And I think Jonah knew that this is what would happen, because he did not want God to forgive them. He did not want God to show compassion on them, because these were the people that were harming his people. So he really didn't like the Ninevites. So he would have really loved if they would be destroyed. And so he knew that God was a forgiving God, and that he was gracious and compassionate and slow to anger, abounding in love. So, which makes sense why Noah relented and he went the other way. Not relented, disobeyed, and went the other way, because he didn't want God to forgive them. He knew that the Lord would do that. And how do we know? Because it's in chapter 4. Jonah says, "I knew you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger, abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity." And he became angry, because he says, "Isn't this what I said, Lord, while I was still at home? This is what I tried to forestall by fleeing to Tarshish." And he says, "Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live." But the Lord replies, "Is it right for you to be angry?" Jonah had gone out and sat down at a place east of the city. There he made himself a shelter, sat in its shade, and waited to see what would happen to the city. Then the Lord provided a leafy plant, made it grow up over Jonah to give shade for his head, to ease his discomfort. And Jonah was happy about the plant. But at dawn the next day, the Lord provided a worm, which chewed the plant so that it withered. When the sun rose, God provided a scorching east wind, and the sun blazed on Jonah's head so that he grew faint. He wanted to die and said it would be better for me to die than to live. But God said to Jonah, is it right for you to be angry about the plan? It is, he said, and I'm so angry I wish I were dead. But the Lord said, you have been concerned about this plant, though you did not tend it or make it grow. It sprang up overnight and died overnight. And should I not have concern for the great city of Nineveh, in which there are more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their right from their left, and also many animals? So now the Lord is giving Jonah a live example, literally a live example. The Lord creates a plant, grows overnight, dies overnight. And he has to show Jonah, and he's trying to show Jonah, this is why the Lord's character is gracious and loving and kind. And he says, should I not have concern for the city of Nineveh, where there are human beings? This is a plant. Isn't life, a human life, more valuable than trees? And also God says also so many animals. Shouldn't I be compassionate to these people that cannot even tell their right from their left? And sometimes I think we need to be babied and shown some examples for us to understand, because we get so caught up in our own emotions and how we feel about certain things, we forget to go, wait, this person is a human too. These are all people too who make a whole lot of mistakes, and so do we. But somehow when it's other people, it is not worthy of forgiving. It's not worth thinking about or showing grace, because no, they're wrong, and that's it. You get one chance and you messed it up. That's not how the Lord is. That's how we are. And I'm so grateful that that's not the Lord's character, because imagine what we would have ended up becoming, or what would have happened to us, because we get way too many chances. And thank God, because wow, how many times are we messing up on a daily basis? And yet we have a God that loves us unconditionally. Thank you, Jesus.